All right. Excited about this one. Went to the wrong scene by accident, but excited about this one. Hey, Choo Choo. Oh, it's so soft. It's so soft. It's so soft. Oh. There we go. I want to show this thing off. And, of course, Little's back there. I got to show her off because she's gorgeous. Aren't you gorgeous, Mochu? Ah. So, I got a box from Candy Keys. This is not anything new. The last one I did was a... Okay, come here. Say hi. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. So I don't have anybody on there right now. We're not live like how we're in party chat when we play games. We're live on the internets with Twitch. So, hello. They don't talk back like that. So if someone's here, they type in the chat. God bless you. Did you just fart and sneeze at the same time? A little pooper sneezer. Here. You gonna go play? Oh, you smell good. Did you spray your stuff?
Yeah.
You sprayed your stuff. Okay. Here, give me hugs. Are you gonna go play? Yeah. Okay. Here you go, little excited. You can tell she's as excited as I am over it. Going nutso back there, showing off. Okay. Alright, I want to get this thing open and see what's in here. So, let's go back to the original scene I should have been on. And there's build. So, I'll move this guy back a little bit. Wow, that thing is bright. Let's turn our LEDs off that guy. This thing's dope, by the way. Like, if you want a budget board that is nice, you know, with a lot of options. Like, this is a KBD Fans 5 degree. And it comes with the little blockers. You can turn it into one of those little happy hacking keyboards, the HHKBs, or you can turn it into a Win keyless like this with the blockers. It fits very well. And then once the backlighting's on, it kind of diffuses a little RGB there, so it looks pretty clean. This is my gamer board right here. You know, I don't need it plugged in, but I'm going to show it off for a second. See, nice little Win keyless. I have the split right shift, stepped caps lock. This is a cool little layout. When it's not plugged in, you can see the screws down in there, but when the RGB's on, like, that thing's pretty flawless. Let me get that out of the way. Because what we're excited to assemble here is this guy right here from Candy Keys. I think the reason this guy's, you know, very popular and been one of the go-tos is, one, it's cheap. It's a cast aluminum board instead of CNC milled, right? But two, it's a gummy O-ring mount, you know, kind of like a Sigma Unicorn. I don't know what else is gummy O-ring mount. I mean, Freebird TKO, but that's not a 60%, of course. But still gummy O-ring mount. But that kind of mounting style that has a little bit more of a poppy sound. It's still technically a gasket mount at that point. But we're going to check it out. I'm stoked about this one. I mean, this kit comes with some stuff. Ooh, got a little thank you note for purchase. Get that guy out of there. Comes in a nice little case here. Now, I have the glorious case for the GMMK Pro. And this thing feels very similar. I mean, the foam in it may not be quite the same, quite as padded, but man, is it cool. Oh my goodness, you got some stuff up in here. So we have our carbon fiber plate. Oh, and there's flex cuts in it now. There used to not be flex cuts in this from the very first versions I've seen. So we got a flex cut carbon fiber PCB. You see that? Or PCB plate, I should say. It's carbon fiber plate. Want to touch it?
Yeah.
It's made out of carbon fiber. We get the gummy O-ring. This is a 50A hardness. And, well, actually, I got... So I have two of these left over from a prior build in which I modified a tofu with one of these. And I have a 30A hardness, so it's a little bit softer. Try, you know, from my understanding of, you know, sound and Mr. Keyboard, thank you, Mr. Keyboard, for being an awesome YouTuber, unlike myself. The softer the material, the more dampened sound or the more thocky. So hopefully this works out. And eventually I'm probably going to buy like a standard 60% polycarbonate plate to see if that helps with the sound, but this should do. I also have an aluminum and brass 60% plate, but I don't know if they'll fit. So here's like a standard milled KBD or CNC milled KBD fans brass, and then aluminum plate. And they will work. They are the identical size. So the aluminum would definitely work. I kind of want to use the aluminum because that particular aluminum one I made, or I got the plate mounted stabilizer support. It's actually a little smaller than this one. So yeah, these plates will fit in the case. Now, do I use brass to make it heavier and more poppy and a little louder, less flex, or do I use the aluminum and make it like aluminum's my favorite. I've used poly, I've used carbon fiber, but aluminum is my favorite. I'm wondering if I should build it out with the aluminum. It supports plate mount stabs, which is good for the Bakeneko, or the Bakeneko. I'm not sure how, I mispronounced it, I'm sure. I don't know if I want to do carbon fiber right away. I'm just not sure. Ooh, and this thing supports split right shift. Now, does the PCB support split right shift? Let's keep going through this stuff. So we get our cherry clip-in stabs, I believe. Some tools. What do we have? Oh, for the daughter board. I was going to say this should be a toolless build. There's our daughter board right there, and our JST cable. And then this should be the PCB itself. Very lovely. Let's get this guy open. Come on. Ooh. And let's see if the support's just standard 60 or not, because I kind of want to go the soldered version. Alright. So we don't have split backspace support on this PCB, but this thing's minimal as can be. There's no south-facing RGB. I don't mind. I turn RGB off immediately. There's our little clip for the daughter board, the JST. Our reset switch is down here below, kind of in a funky spot, but I'll deal with that. This thing's nice. All right, let's get the rest of the stuff out of here. We'll set this to the side, that to the side. The plate, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. I might actually use that in a toe fill build. I feel like I want to do it with aluminum. I really feel like I want to do this with the aluminum plate and the Duroc plate mount stabs that I have. Because I won't have to... I won't have to tune them at all. And the Duroc stabs are just fine. I mean, plate mount stabs, as long as you do them right, are just fine. But I do kind of want to know if, like, the loud poppiness of the brass would suit just fine as well. Do I tune the stabs or do I use these? I think I'm gonna tune the stabs. I'm gonna build it with this. I'm gonna build it with the carbon fiber. I'm just gonna go with that for now because it's hot swap. I can redo it as much as I want. Toolless. All right. Keep saying I'm gonna get this case out of here, and then I haven't done any of it yet. So, ooh, it's lighter than I expected. Let's get this guy closed. PCB up here. Whoa. Okay, pictures don't really do it justice. It's shiny, smooth. It doesn't look like the last stream I did where I did a keycron build. It doesn't look like grainy, I guess is the best way to say it. I mean, this looks like almost a polished kind of look. It is a kind of a fingerprint magnet. You can see the Canon Keys logo down there at the bottom. You can see the reflection of my microphone in it. Like, this thing's pretty shiny. And there are imperfections inside the case. I mean, this is how Canon Keys keeps the cost low on this entire kit. These almost look like they were standoff points here for the cast molds. You know, like the thing was stuck on, you know, something like this, and then the wax mold was, you know, here, and then they poured around it, broke it apart, and then broke them off the standoffs there. I mean, it looks pretty dang good. I like the side profile of this guy. Nice little Cannon Keys microfiber cloth, too, to clean the guy off if you need to. But this is a cool looking little build. It's not overly pingy either. It's not bad. I expected this cast aluminum to be a little bit... It has kind of a thick thud when you tap on it. You know, we're going to use this thing right here. Let's get our bump-ons on this guy. Before we forget, let's get our stuff in there, and then let's start assembling. I'm really excited about this one. There we go. That one was strange. The paper came off with them. I can't believe I didn't notice that. That's probably visible on stream. There we go. Thinking about paint filling the Cannon Keys logo. I wonder if I paint filled that like white or something that pops, or gold even. I can paint fill very easily. Alright, so we got our things on there. Let's get our daughter board in there. Just to get that out of the way. The only thing that requires a tool, at least they give you a little hex screw for it. There's some of the extra stuff, whatever it is. Get our JST cable connected to it. That upside down? It might be. Yep, that slid right in. So that guy's connected, and we'll get him right down in here. Non-magnetic screws, or, well, the tool's probably not a magnetic screw. Or not a magnetic tip. Saying all sorts of weird stuff. This is kind of tight in here. Let's try dropping it in this way. So we'll put the screw there. We'll put this on top of it to kind of keep it in place, and we'll see if we can't drop it down. Wow, I am botching the crap out of this. Or I could just use a magnetic tip screwdriver to place it. Like, these things are in rough spots here. There we go. Now these things, I don't know if part of the finish got into the screws or into the threads where they tapped them, but they're kind of rough to get down or start at first. That's kind of strange, but that's all right. Every particular build has its own little weird quirks. Alright, since this is the side that's going to be plugged in, the device side of the USB Type-C, we want to make sure it's nice and snug, not overly tight. We don't want to crack the PCB, that's this tiny little PCB, this daughter board here. That would be detrimental. have to go buy another one and wait. Gladly, or luckily, Cannon Keys ships from the United States where I am, so that's not a big deal. There we go. All right, perfect. Let's get that guy set aside. Because now we got to tune some stabs. Yay. Get the little extras put away here. You know, I wonder if I should, just for the sake of getting it together, should I go plate mount? Should I do the aluminum plate with plate mount? See, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'm not a big fan of doing stabilizers. I'm just not a big fan of this lubing stuff. It's so annoying. And they are clip-ins. I wish they came with the little things to help secure the clip-in on the other side. You know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go get the stuff to lube them. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Start clipping these things so they're flat. If you've never clipped stabs here, let's see if I can show you here. I'll do it this way a little bit. Can't really see, but there's little legs down here. You can kind of see those guys. They don't sit flush with the PCB, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to clip them off so the very bottom of the stabilizer is flat. Now this one's the funky one. You don't really just want to clip it off. You want to get this entire corner off of here so it's dead flat. There we go. That way when you look down at the pure flat surface is hitting the PCB. And get those all clipped up here. There they are. Sometimes these pieces go flying everywhere. There we go. Slow process here. Ooh, that one went flying. I have to go sweep that up later. So there's 2 stabilizers down. Tons more to go. Kind of want to get the soldered PCB for this so I can do a split right shift. Because I kind of, or in a 7U bottom row, like a 7U spacebar. Doesn't have to be wind keyless, but that Tustin layout, I think is what it's called. I probably butchered that. I butcher a lot of names in this community. Like, this is a fun hobby for me, but man, are some of the names a little much. Huh? Last one, I think. Then we can start lubing them. Ooh, that one hit me in the forehead. There we go. Angle my mic down a little bit more for when I'm looking downwards. Nice little bit of trash. We're going to keep that right there for now. My work surface is getting beat up. I need to get a new desk mat for this. All right, let's start getting these housings put back together. And I don't overly lube my stabilizers with Kryotox right like this right away. I just put a little bit on the inside of the housing. That's all you really need, you know? Or a decent amount, I guess, on the inside of the housing. We're getting there. Most boring part of it right here. Lubing things. But the end result is just, it's too good to not do this. I think switches are the worst. Switches are just, for me, lubing switches is just daunting. But I don't feel like paying the extra to have somebody else do it because it's very easy. Very, very easy. It just takes forever and a day to do. Most of the time when I'm doing a build, I would have stabilizers like ready to go. Sometimes I used to like getting stabs and then just tuning them right out of the box and then putting them right back in their box. So all I have to do is take them out, put them on the board when the board gets here, and then fine tune any extra rattle that might be lingering after that. So I'm a very light luber when it comes to certain things like this, especially stabilizers. There's no need to be like super crazy with stabilizer lube. All right. Getting there. I know I keep saying that. Ooh. Getting closer. I'm seeing the finish line too quickly here. I think that's my problem. On the last one, or at least the last housing. All right, we're on to wires now, at least. You know, I need to finish off this Kryotox. All right. Ooh. I'll be happy when this is done.
Did not hit.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It was the troll.
It was the troll?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It didn't hit the new eagle.
Well, we're trucking. Hmm. Wait, two more after this one. I'm, again, looking at the finish line before I'm there already, right? I feel like I'm gonna have to go get some toothpicks to secure these things. I think the only thing that this kit is missing, if you ask my opinion, from what I opened, to have those little tabs that go into the bottom of cherry clip-in stabs, where you would normally screw in for like screw-in ones, or stabilizers like you know, like Durox, things that everybody knows. You know, to have those little clip pieces, those little plastic pieces to secure these little clip-ins would be great.
Daddy, what? Daddy.
Oh my, she looks like she's at a hospital.
The animal tent.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably going to want to get the syringe and inject some cryotox into the back of these things. You know, if anybody watches this after the fact, I'm going to give my 2 cents on this hobby here. Stop using dielectric grease on stabilizers. That stuff is just... it's too thick, it's too gooey, and I know Kryotox settles a little bit after some time. Sometimes you end up having to add a little bit more after it settles. But it just... the tuning with Kryotox and then the feel of the stabilizer is much lighter. What are you doing, Chumao? You're silly. Little one's all giddy in the middle of imagination right now. Doing her thing. Alright, one more, and then I think I'm going to need to bust out the syringe. Alright, looks like we're going to have to dig deep to get a little bit of Kryotox left here. Well, not too bad. That was more than enough. I used a bit more than I should have on the last one. There we go. I don't know why that one was a little difficult. All right. Get this stuff aside for a moment and bust out the syringe. Doesn't look like I have much in there. See if I could drop a little bit more down in there. And I think that Kryotox is pretty much done for. I'm going to get one more small little glob out of the new one. Oi, that one I tightened too tight. There we go. Get a nice little glob of that stuff, get it down in the syringe. The rest of his buddies there. Alright. That should be good enough. Uh-oh. Lost a little bit there. Oh, I got air pressure inside this hypodermic for some reason. Let me get this out. Get this guy closed. There we go. Let me see. Her hands all standing. She looks like she's in a hospital gown, huh?
And I took the tech on top and I took that over her tech and he and
Oh my goodness, that's so cute, Chew. Where's the remote? I gotta pause for just a second here. All right. So got my thing ready to go. Gonna get some goop into the back of these guys just a little bit. And this one's not working. Glad I tested it. I must have assembled it backwards. So word to the wise, test them before you install them, because this one I put the internal housing in backwards, so then once the cable was in, it could not return. It would just be down all the time. And that one's definitely going to need a touch-up of Kryotox. Where did I put the syringe? Oh, right there. Blend it in with the white cloth. I like throwing the little dot, like a little dot of Kryotox right above the rear, right in here. I don't think you could see it, but right here you could see the very back end of the stabilizer wire. Now, right above it, if you throw a little dollop, it'll help soften it up a little bit, so you don't really have to over lube it. Ooh, air bubble came out. That's nice. Tedious, but I'll admit, like this does wonders here. All right, that stabilizer bar missed the housing. Can't believe I did that as well. Better to check it now than once it's installed. Keycaps are on, keys are in, or the switches are in. Then you have to complete, I know it's toolless, but you completely have to disassemble, pain in the butt, take all the switches out. So it's really better to do this right now. There we go. All right, I'm going to go see if I have toothpicks really quick to see if I can't secure these cherry clip-ins. I'm going to drop some trash in the trash to get it off the desk. I'm going to be right back. All right, so I got some toothpicks just in case I need them. We're going to see how they sound first. Oop. Ah! I'm going to need some tweezers. I didn't think I was. But I need to use some tweezers and squeeze these things down so they fit in their little spots. This should do it here. Still not going through. There it goes. You know what? These things are really secure. All right, that's actually not bad. These housings are not loose at all. Those clip-ins are extremely firm in there. That is solid. Ah! There we go. Nope, phone's going off. Alright, sorry, really quick, had to tell my wife how dope she is. Because my wife is dope, by the way. You guys think you married like 10s? I married a 10-10. Actually, on a scale of 1 to 10, I married like a 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how lucky I got. Alright, I must admit, I'm a little bit more impressed with cherry clip-in stabs than I initially thought. I mean, I think these things are pretty cheap when you buy them on your own, like $1 a piece, I think. I mean, $1 per stabilizer? That's good. And if you can tune them for that price, too. Alright, one more. And then we can start the full assembly. Get the plate, the PCB. Got the case, got the gummy O-ring. Alright. Yep, all of them work. Alright, let's take our... Ooh, switches. Now, switches. I got some NK creams. I know the box says stock, but I mean, what's in the bottom of them, not in the little bag, are stock. These ones have been used for well over a year in another build, desoldered. They are lubed. They are not filmed, but I don't want to pop them apart and try to film them after I lubed them. Made the mistake there. Housings and top and bottom housings are not really like wobbly in these. Not like a black ink where if you have a wobbly top housing, it's like you press the key and it's just loud and rattly and odd. Alright, make sure we get everything in the right spots here. Looks like it. I'm not going to put any foam in between the PCB and the plate right now either. Eventually, I'm probably going to go back and end up doing that. Ah! Boy, that socket was firm. Fresh hot swap sockets are usually They're not janky. They're a little on the firm side at first, so you can get a little uneasy when you're popping switches in. You know, these are locking into the plate much better than what other people have shown from other revisions of this board, where people put their switch in, they put a keycap on, they go to pull the keycap and the switch and everything comes with it. These things sound like they are clicking into place in the plate, which is very good. I do not like polycarbonate for that specific reason. It is kind of a pain in the butt to keep the entire assembly together. For that specific reason. You go to, you know, to clip in the switches and they don't really click into the plate. They just kind of hover there on the PCB and the plate's just there making noise back and forth. Polycarbs to me do sound a bit more rattly than they should. For a polycarb plate, you definitely need something like that foam, PE foam or like PCB foam between the PCB and the plate to kind of dampen that. At least that's my personal opinion about it. I like the hot swap carbon fiber PCBs or the FR4s that have the little gold ring around them. I think that's a... I wouldn't think it's a piece of copper or brass, but maybe just like a piece of metal just to help secure the hot swap function of it, because you're going to be taking switches in and out of the plate, and carbon fiber is basically like a woven fiber material, kind of like this. So if it starts to, you know, fray here around these cuts, and I'm pretty sure that's what those little gold rings are around some of the fancier carbon fiber plates, and that's what they're for. They're for support for hot swap function, so you don't damage the plate like that, taking switches in and out. Those are popping into place nicely now. If you ever decide to get a batch of NK creams, do not lube and film them right away. You literally have to use they're like MX Blacks. You got to use the crap out of these switches. I've used these in a keyboard build for over a year and they still don't feel that good to me. But they're getting there. Like, these things have a break-in period. You want to smash on these things a lot. And then the more you use them, then the less scratchy they feel, the better they start to sound and perform. It gets just a little bit better and better, you know, as time goes on with things like, you know, novelty creams. But they're a great switch once you break them in. Pretty sure they're pretty clacky. At least in the other board or the other build, they had a nice clacky signature to them. But they weren't overly clacky, if that makes sense. Wow, this carbon fiber plate is much tighter than what I've seen other builds from other people. I like it. It'd be cool if here on R3, they had the hot swap function for a north-facing stepped caps lock. That'd be kind of cool. And then hot swap function to support the a 7U bottom row. Like 7U spacebar. I would love a 7U. I like 7U spacebars. That's, I mean, the other build that I had on the desk before I started this one. 7U spacebar, win keyless, you know. Very versatile, cool little guy. Ooh, that one's firm. Yeah, pins are straight. Now, if you're ever doing the hot swap build, the way why I keep picking the entire assembly up is I'm supporting this hot swap socket here. You can see the blue hot swap socket. So what I like to do is put my thumb over the entire assembly. That way that the pins miss and start pushing on the socket, I don't break it apart from the back of the PCB. Or if it's sitting down like this, when you press it in, like, you know, you're doing the same thing. You're making sure that there's pressure on the back of the socket as well. That one's not going down. Nope, they're straight. Oh, wait, it was the plate. The plate's just a very tight fit. I like it. I mean, I love tight fitting plates that are rough to clip into right away. Secure the switch so it doesn't feel like it's going all over the place. His emergency services. Here, let me see your phone, Chew. There's a storm brewing outside. Our phones are going off. My phone does. Oh, yeah, it does. See right there. See, dust storm warning until 5 p.m. Here we go. Wife's out shopping. I hope she's inside the mall or something right now.
My tummy hurt.
Are you hungry?
Yeah.
What are you hungry for, Chew?
I want a beer.
You do? What if we don't have the makings for that here?
What tea?
We don't have tortilla. I can make one later tonight. We're gonna go to the grocery store, you and me, later. Some of these might be going in a little firmer than normal because they were soldered into another board, but I did use a vacuum solder sucker. So most everything should be removed from these pins. They shouldn't have really any issues. I've had no issues doing that before with like an SSO2 engineering solder sucker. Completely disassembling an entire board with it the hard way. And then putting those switches into a hot swap board, and that particular PCB and those sockets ended up just fine from that. And there was more residue on those guys than these ones. Linda, we don't have tortillas.
No, I did.
We don't have beans either. Do you want me to have Mom bring you one?
Yeah.
She's gonna be a while. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, I will let Mom know. All right. Getting better here. Ooh. Ooh. That one was rough. We'll just test them, make sure they all work once they're in there. Most likely if one doesn't, it means it's got a bent pin. And I don't know if I should try it with the standard O-ring as well. The 50A firmness, the little bit firmer O-ring versus the softer one. Or if I should just go. So I have a feeling I'm going to have to end up tuning this thing a little bit. Like whether that'd be a very thin case foam, something that just kind of blocks out noise resonance.
My tummy hurt too.
Do you want to eat those eggs again?
No.
Well, what do you want to eat? Because last time I made you something, you didn't eat it. You didn't eat your eggs and you wasted them, Linda. What do you want? What do you want to eat that you're actually going to eat?
I want to eat a beer.
Okay. Oi. Messed up my camera a bit, bumped it. It should be okay. Maybe I will straighten it just a touch. That's better. Jeez, some of these are going in so firm. Just R4, the alphas, and we are done. Well, not done. We're done getting switches in this. I think it's kind of cool. Like, So if you look at it right here, put it towards me a bit. You have the Canon Keys logo in the PCB on either side of the spacebar. It says Bakeneko. Mispronouncing it, I know. That's okay. I mean, this is kind of a nice little simplistic design, but it has an element of, I don't know if I would call it like luxury or just a little bit higher end, maybe just a step above entry level is what it kind of feels like when you're looking at some of this. And the one thing that really makes it stand out as an entry-level board is the finish that's on the case itself. I mean, everyone else calls it electrophoresis. I'm pretty sure that's just powder coating, you know. If you're not familiar with powder coating, you either have a positive or a neutral charge, electromagnetic charge on the item that you're coating. And then if you're familiar with physics, being that you have a positive or a neutral charge on this item, you'll have a negative charge inside the powder coat dust or the powder coating itself. That's what makes it stick to, the item that you're coating. So it's kind of a cool little physics thing. Like if you ever done the little thing with the balloon when you were younger where you rub a balloon on your, you see your parent rub the balloon on their head, they're basically either positively or negatively charging, electrostatically charging the balloon surface, and then you place it onto the wall, and then it looks like it sticks to the wall, and the balloon just kind of hovers suspended. It's kind of the same thing. It's an electromagnetic process. So the wall's either neutral or positive, while the balloon's negative, or after you've charged it. All right, last switch is in there. Stoked about this thing. Always wanted a gummy O-ring. I always sit there and look at Sigma unicorns, so this is like my poor man's unicorn. I really like this thing so far. But let's, wait. I'm gonna use a softer gummy O-ring. So I got a couple 30A firmness gummy O-rings for 60% boards or 65s from, I think it's called Thocky Pop. Never used the site before. They got switches, they got tools and stuff on there. Very cool little site. They ship in the US, so one of these was used and has okay, that's the one that has a couple pinches in it. We're going to use the brand new one here. There we go. Got our gummy O-ring around, and now it's sitting inside the PCB assembly for pretty much the most part. And then the little cutouts on the PCB are what's going to allow it to kind of basically hover up here. Oh, get in a phone call. All right, sorry about that. Had littles, needed some food, so took care of that. My wife was calling me. She's out and about doing her thing, so I gotta talk to her because, well, she's my number one. We are almost there. Just gonna get this cable put in here. Am I doing this upside down? Doesn't really want to seat in here. Let's move it this way a little bit. Nope. So that's backwards. It should kind of, or upside down. There is polarity to these things, so you do have to make sure that you get them in there right. There it goes. All right. And we'll make sure the cable goes into its little channel here. Now with its little gummy O-ring mounts like this, you want to get the the very first, or the spacebar part of the assembly in there, down here in the bottom. And then we're going to put some pressure on it and then slide the top piece in. Make sure that nothing folded. So sometimes if you're not careful, when you get to this point, like I sandwiched it in there, but we don't want our gummy O-ring flipping out and kind of coming above the plate here. Then we're going to start pinching it and then it's going to snap and come apart. So if we look at it closely, we can see that there's no gummy O-ring showing by the backspace and the space bars, which are going to be the two spots where the clip-ins are going to give it the most pressure. Now from here, we just have to make sure we slide this assembly down as far as it'll go. And then we'll start getting the bounce from it being on its standoffs. And my God. Ooh, I like that. It has some give to it. I don't know if we can really see it. I mean, it looks so firm, but it does have give to it. Like when I'm pressed on it, I can see the plate and everything flex a little bit. Now, does it flex as much as like my keycrons? Here, actually, give me just a second. Let me go get another board that's a gasket, different style of gasket mount, like boron strips gasket mount rather than the gasket, the complete gummy O-ring around the thing. Here, I'll be right back. All right, so now this is my keycron here. Oops. Ooh, gotta be careful. So this is my Keycron Q4. This is a gasket mount. I think it has 3 points on each side that use boron gasket strips. Now this guy flexes. Like when you press on this guy, you could see it. This guy flexes. This guy flexes as well. It's just not as predominant. It's nowhere near as predominant as this. But it does flex and it does give. I mean, it looks clean like this. This board is such a nice, clean looking build. It reminds me of the way the tofu looks when you're sitting down here at typing angle, because you have a little bit thinner bezel here on the sides and a little bit thicker on the top. Tofu's very similar. Speaking of which, I mean, if you happen to be somebody who follows me, whether it's YouTube or you watch the vlogs later, or vlogs, whatever we call them, I'm going to have a custom tofu build in which I removed our spacebar standoff, our center standoff, and then our two standoffs here. So the only contact points or mounting points are the two outsides. Linda, are you using the bathroom? Yeah. Okay, Chumao. Do you need anything? No. Okay, Mau Mau. All right, let's get some keycaps on there. What's that? You going poop? Okay. Don't forget to wipe and wash your hands. All right, so I got some inexpensive double shot ABS keycaps, and I like the sound, a little clackier sound of ABS. But these things, I mean, they come with the huge kits, crappy trays, crappy packaging, but you get these on Amazon. Actually, I should bring these up. Give me a second. Let me get a keyboard plugged in here. All right, let's go to, we'll go to live. So let me bring up you're gonna see some of the stuff I bought. I don't give a shit. So these are them. I don't know who the maker of these guys even are. They're just double shot modern Dolce keycaps with the, you have a ton of support. You got a ton of extra like alphas, not alphas, a ton of extra modifiers. There's tons of these things. Like there's a purple mods. There's like the blue samurai. There's the oh, what do they call this? It's in the title. Where is it? Still says botanical. They're the botanical ones. Those are popular. Botanical's dope. If you've seen GMK Botanical, these things look pretty damn good too. Like click on them and then really take a look at them. Like they look clean. And I was impressed with the legending and the font on these guys. So if we look at like the font and everything, like they're consistent. You know, double shot ABS from say a known manufacturer. Like an in-stock known manufacturer, like, let me get this off my, putting white light in my face. So this is EPBT or Enjoy PBT ABS double shots. if we look at, say, like the Q here, see if I can get it closer. The Q is so thin compared to like the W and the E. Where's another one that's like that? The A is very similar, very thin looking compared to the S, the D. The Z even looks chonkier than those. They're a little inconsistent in the double shotting legends. So they do, when I first saw them, I thought the Q belonged to a different, you know, set, a different keycap set. Now, downside to this is I've never joined a GMK group buy, and I've never bought them in stock either. I just don't see the value in that. So if I can spend $40 on these, I get support for everything. Like here, let me get these out of here. You have a 7U spacebar in here. You have colored modifiers for these guys. You have the backspace. So if you want to, instead of use backslash, and you want to use that as backspace, and then you have a solderable PCB and you split backspace, you could do that. You have 1.5U control and alts if you wanted to do a Win keyless, or if you wanted to do a different layout where your Windows key or the code key is just a single U instead of a 1.25 U. You have space bars galore. If you had an Alice board, you have the space bars to support it. And this kit was like, what was it, $45? $45. Less than half of the cost. And the lead, to me, double shot ABS, I don't know how quickly these are going to shine, but I mean, that's usable. They are more than usable. Now I don't know what mods I want to do. So let's just at least start getting some of this on here. I don't know if I want to do like a nice colored escape or anything. Oh, that sounds clean. I'm thinking the blue. I don't really like the darker red. I personally like the blue. I should probably, you know what? Before I put caps on this thing in case I got to pull it apart, I want to check one, if it's recognized in VIA. Do I have to flash something else on this guy? I hate doing that, but I would rather, like how I got my GMMK Pro and I immediately took it and flashed QMK on it so I could take advantage of one, customizing it, the layout the way I wanted, and two, it feels like it reports better. I don't know if that's a thing. It's supposed to have 1,000 pole polling rate, but yeah, when the glorious software and all that, it just felt so sluggish and slow, and like it felt like the keyboard just hiccuped a ton. Like I'd be typing stuff, going, okay, why is it not coming out? And then it would pop out all late. It's like, what the? Don't know what I was doing there. I was too busy jabberjawing. Should have been looking for VIA. Ah, it is there. What's on layer 2? Stuff that I don't need. You are going to be basic. Special. Where I never had to redo reset. I'd prefer reset to be backslash here. That's how, in case you need to put it into a bootloader mode, you would basically like function reset and hold it as you're plugging the keyboard USB Type-C in, and then it would go directly into bootloader mode into VIA, or not VIA, into QMK toolbox. Where is reset though? Is it under basic? No, it's not. Media? Nope. It's definitely not going to be macro. I thought it would have been under special. Refresh. Am I losing it? I don't see reset. So if I'm resetting this board, I might have to pull it, hold the reset button behind it, and then do that, because I removed the layer function reset and I can't find it again. I'm sure if I went instead of skimming so fastly through this, I'd come right over it and go, what the, how did I miss that 3 times? Oh, there, it's right in front of me. So we want this to be reset. I'm gonna clear basic. I'm gonna clear these. There's no RGB necessary on here. And I like using IJKL for my up, right, down, left, all that stuff. So we'll do right, down, left, and then up. That comes from starting on 60% with the Ducky 1.2, you know, in 2017. Maybe it was 2018 when that thing came out. Up. Now, I also like using media functions here. So let's do volume minus and then a volume up. I think that's going to be it. I have Control Alt Delete, everything taken care of. Yeah. Let's test it. Well, function works because volume up and volume down work. There we go. All right, entire thing works. No bent pins, no issues. So let's continue with the keycaps. Get that board out of the way there. I'm really digging the aesthetics of the gray. When I initially ordered this thing, I was sitting on it for weeks. Weeks and weeks and weeks just watching, waiting. Like, I wanted the white board. I wanted the white one. I do not have a white keyboard, so I was going to get the white one. It looked so sick. I've watched, you know, a few guys build it. I really wanted the white one. But I ordered the one that is the dark gray instead, because this is another color that I don't have. I have a silver. I have a blue. I could have gone lavender, but decided, nah, I'm good. Now, I'm not too sure if I'm going to use the spacebar, the gray one. I don't know if I want to use, like, I kind of want to drop this blue spacebar on here. I'm thinking about going with these mods, the light blue here. I don't know how that's going to look, too. Is that a 6? No, that's a 625. I thought it was the 6U for a minute there. Now, these aren't as rough as, like, the ABS of the EPBT set. The EPBT set has a much rougher surface, even though they're double shot ABS from a company that's EPBT. I get it, but I mean, in stock, the colorway I wanted, you know, match that blue board, looks pretty clean. But this thing's probably going to stay on my desk for a while. And I said it last build, if you ever come in and watch these after the fact and you kind of want to know exactly what's going on here, why I do this, why I'm addicted to 60%, and that's pretty much it. The rest of them kind of stay hidden because the 60s stay on my desk at all times. I love the 60% keyboard. I've gone from, you know, I like 1800 layouts. I like full size. I have those as well. But when it comes straight down to what I use as a daily driver, nothing for me really compares to this. You still have everything you need. Such a nice, clean little package. I feel like the smaller boards have a little bit cleaner of a sound to them myself. Especially the more inexpensive ones. It feels like the sound profile of more budget-oriented boards comes out a little bit more when the case is larger. So if you have like a a TKL or maybe an 1800 with your F-row, some arrows on this side, maybe a knob. Now you start hearing more, at least in my opinion, you would hear more case resonance, more ping, and then you start doing things like Tempest tape mod. Then you're trying to put foam underneath the thing. Or in like Keycrons case, I had to force break every single one of these. I tried it without force. I removed factory force break just to try it. But you gotta force break them to get the sound you want out of them. All right, not gonna lie, I'm impressed with cherry stabs right now. The clip ends, these things are something else right now. They are not rattling. They're not moving in there. My experience with clip ins is once you get them through the PCB, right, and then the other side they kind of clip through. You need to take something to make sure that those things don't squeeze and pop back through the PCBs. Then they rattle around in there like that. Not these guys. Whatever whatever Canon Key sent here is freaking awesome. Ooh. Actually, you know what? If I'm gonna do these modifiers, yeah, I am gonna do these modifiers, but the enter key is not gonna come with. Ooh. Now, if you're pulling keycaps from this guy, put your hand over the PCB assembly so you don't pull it out of the case. Like, literally hold it like this, then pull the keycap so you don't literally pull this entire assembly out. It's just friction mounted with that O-ring around it, or that gummy O-ring. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if I want to do the full space bar. I like having just these two on the sides and sometimes not the space bar. Let's get the rest of them on there, then I'm going to decide. All right, let's get this guy out. So let's look at this one first. So we have that. I don't know if I want the blue space bar though. See if it rattles. I'm impressed. All right, let's do the other one real quick. Ooh, this spacebar sounds better. I kind of like the spacebar matching the alphas and just using these two as the little pieces of color on it. So that's going to be the board. I mean, that's really nice looking. Give this guy some testies, see what it, I mean, it sounds good just from clipping and messing on it like a little bit right here alone. How did I get I got a switch film somehow in my keycap set. I wonder if that was me.
No, it was me.
Huh, weird. Little bug hanging out on my desk. I didn't know where he came from, but he did now. Raining outside, so they're going to come from all different areas, just trying to stay dry. Poor little guys. drop that down there. Get some space here. Oop. Smashing the original O-ring. Now, I don't know if I want to mix these because now I have... Oh, you can tell. You can tell the O-ring they sent it with is a little firmer. Definitely tell. So no issues mixing those in the same bag because I'll be able to just feel them and go, okay, that's the firmer one. Get these out of here. I was regretting getting this board at first. Like, oh my God, they got the white right after I got mine. Like, WTF, now it's in stock and I wanted the white, but you know what? This is nice. This is nice. For its price, it's nice. Now, the one thing I did notice, I don't know if it's going to be able to be seen, because you have clip-ins in backspace and then spacebar. So there's enough in these 2 points here where the clip-in stabilizers are to... Linda, stop being so loud. You don't need to be screaming and... No, stop. Stop growling and doing that. That's loud and obnoxious and over the top, okay? So there's 2 mounting points here and here. And these mounting points, or 2 mounting points, the 2 stabilizer points here and here. And they're pushing that O-ring up against the case here. Now the backspace is doing the same thing. The one thing that happens though is the entire assembly here kind of shifts because the backspace is pushing it down. So your control here is closer to the bezel than this control here, and it almost looks like you need to shift the assembly a little bit, like this direction inside the case. Now I have a way to solve that with the tofu. What you do is underneath the gummy O-ring behind the 1 or the 2 key, we're going to put what's like called a spacer, like a small little 1mm spacer, like a little soft one, just to push this piece down slightly. And it doesn't sound like it does much, but as far as aligning that 1mm, that's huge. Just for aesthetics for me. Like I know that's nitpicky. But if you used, say if I used the aluminum plate, which allows for plate mount stabilizers, that would be a non-issue at all. You would have nothing over here pushing that against the case. But then I don't know how the friction mount would work or if it would be too loose in there, so... Let's type on this thing real quick. Ooh, caps lock is on. Whoa. What? It is much quieter than I thought. Everyone else's is all loud and pingy. What? This thing is clean. I'll get a sound test on it for you. Bless you. All right, we ready? Whew. I hope you could hear that. I mean, this thing is quiet. I expected this thing to be much louder than it is. This thing's quiet. Man, it's nice though. Really, really nice. So that's pretty much it. The last look. Pretty much a toolless build for the most part. You need one Allen key to put in the daughter board, and that's it. Beautiful little keyboard. I mean, these things, way to go Canon keys for this little awesome guy. I like it. I really like this thing. I'm impressed. I don't know why I always do that. I always do that. It's definitely not falling out of there. Oh, it can. If you do it, it will shake down a little bit. Wow. So be careful doing that. I appreciate you watching. That's going to be it for me today. Just a quick little build. Appreciate it. Pieces, deuces. That's not the UK, middle finger. That was a peace sign from the US. Later.